Ezra McKenna, Coach Ron, a statement.
Yeah, no, great atmosphere tonight down here in downtown Buffalo. Loved having all of our Bulls fans in attendance cheering us on. Gave us great energy in the second half when we were able to make a run there and get back in the game. And credit to Syracuse. They got, like anybody this time of year, they're trying to figure themselves out with a lot of new faces, and they did a great job getting out to an early lead and going into half with the 12-point lead, and extended it out a little bit on us in the second half early, and just really proud of our guys' fight to stick in the game and, like I said, give ourselves a chance. So a lot of credit goes to this guy right here coming off the bench and giving us huge minutes with 18 points in his time.
What do you hope to get from an exhibition game against a program like Syracuse, especially with the NCAA tournament coming up?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. Obviously, we have high expectations for ourselves. We also know the only way you get anywhere is you look at it one game at a time. But to be able to get a quality opponent like Syracuse in a game like this, in an environment like this, you're not going to, for us, this is going to probably be one of the biggest environments we play in all year. So you can't simulate that game pressure, in practice. But we're always going to remember this and lean on this the entire year as a learning experience for our team. And, going against somebody else while you're still trying to figure your team out is so huge these days when you're trying to, build out a new roster. So, and again, the cool thing is here, being that they're only not too far, 2 hours away east of us. They had a lot of their fans in here, and it was just a great environment that, honestly, I've been in this building in an NCAA tournament game. At the end, it kind of felt like one, which is pretty darn cool. It says a lot about Buffalo basketball and our Buffalo fans here, and the excitement people have for basketball.
And how important are exhibition games for your team?
Invaluable. You can't learn as well playing against yourselves every day as you can going against a different opponent. And like I mentioned, to go against a team of the caliber of Syracuse, you're going to simulate things that better athletes, not that I think we have great athletes on our team, but just body on body, better athletes day in and day out. You're not going to get that at practice because you're going against each other every day. When you get in an environment like this, an exhibition, and it means a lot, and I thought this one meant a lot to both programs, it was able to really look like a real game, like we were ready to play a regular season game. That's what it felt like out there. It was pretty awesome.
And what did you learn about your team tonight?
We got grit. We talk about being all in with grit. That's our program mentality. We got down. We always talk about attitude, next play, keep grinding, one possession at a time, and that's what we did tonight. We proved to ourselves that we can be down in the game and keep grinding, and just fight, claw, and try to give ourselves a chance to win at the end, which we did. Obviously we would have loved to be on the other side of it, but a lot to learn from. We're not satisfied by any means. I don't think moral victories, any coach is going to say moral victories are fun, but we're going to learn from this.
And what kind of impact do exhibition games have on non-conference regular season games, especially early in the season?
Again, being able to play a game like this on a neutral floor, where you feel like we have fans here, you then now go against whoever you go against in non-conference. You're not going to know them like your conference opponents. It simulates a scouting report where you're prepping for them. Early season, teams are still figuring themselves out, so you get a feel of like, hey, you got to just do what you do really well more than anything. And our guys get that experience, so then when they go do it for the first time, they're not fazed by it as much because they already went through it.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Anything from your newcomers like McKenna that you've seen today or even in camp that maybe it has impressed you or maybe you want to see more?
I mean, we talk about having a humble and hungry mentality as well, and he exemplifies it, this guy right here. For a guy who's in his 5th year, who's a heck of a talent, to be able to come off the bench, not worried about his role, just coming in, knowing that I'm a big contributor on this team. We've talked to him about that. There's days he's the best player in the gym, right? And, we have other guys in our program that we know have been the best players in the gym on a different day. Some of those guys had tough offensive nights. Like we know Angelo Brizzi and Daniel Freitag are going to be big-time players for us this year, and we're counting on them to be. Shots didn't go in for them. But we kept battling and kept defending gave ourselves a chance, right? And then we talked to our guys about, hey, if it's not your night, we got enough guys right on our team to pick it up for you, which Ezra did tonight. And our team's mantra is going to be, it could be a different guy every night. And the best teams, honestly, play like that, where you have multiple guys that could get double figures, and we do have that.
The game Ezra had today, is that typical of what you knew he can do, the inside outside, or I know he had the nice three. I'm not sure if he can hit those all the time. Is that part of his game?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let him talk to you about it. Okay. Go ahead, Ezra. Because yes, I do. I knew that he had it.
Yeah, I just try to do what it takes to win the game. So if the three's there, I'll shoot the three. If somebody else has a three, I'll pass it to them for the three. Whatever it takes. So that's kind of how I would describe my game, I guess.
What brought you? How'd you get to Buffalo from Florida, Mobile, Florida?
Yeah, so I did 4 years at a smaller NAIA school, University of Mobile. Got an opportunity to transfer, and it's a great program, great people. It was a no-brainer. So that's kind of how I ended up here, and it's been fantastic so far. And we're looking forward to the future for sure. Yeah.
What's it been like working with? I know Ryan Sable. I'm sorry, I'm butchering names.
Sable, yeah.
Sable.
Yeah.
He's a veteran on his team. What's it like playing with this new group?
It's great playing with him. Noah Batchelor as well, Tim Ovo, Omar, those guys that returned kind of had to show. We got a lot of new guys on the team, so they kind of had to show us, the ropes, show us how we do things here, and we're trying to build a culture of doing stuff how we do it. You know what I mean? And they were huge in that aspect. So.
What was this environment like for the players, for you guys as players, playing Syracuse, playing a recruit like Kai and Anthony coming in here? What was this experience like?
It was great. That was personally for me, that was probably the loudest I've heard a gym be. I've come from a smaller gyms, but yeah, it was really cool. They're a good team, and it was a real competitive game, so that's what we wanted. We didn't come out with the win, but we're coming.
And how much did you remember about the game speed from Air Force, and then how much did you learn today about kind of getting up to that game speed and that competitiveness from going from Mobile at the NAI level to the D1 level?
Yeah, I think we had a great summer. We've been practicing. In practice, we go so hard on each other, and we play as hard as we can every day. So doing that alone has gotten me ready for the speed. You know what I mean? Obviously, in game speed, it's a little bit different, but I think all of us have been so great at challenging each other every day to where we're, it's not a problem. So.
And how would you compare the two levels, the NAI level and the D1 level?
Guys are bigger at D1. I'll say that. Yeah, I think bigger, more athletic. Yeah, more skilled. I would say, but don't sleep on the NAI. I think NAI's got a lot of great players. I don't think people really know about it.
I came from covering the University of Jamestown. So.
Okay, yeah. DJ Talton, also an NAI guy, number 10. So, yeah.
Ezra, first D1 action in 4 years. You led the team in points. Actually, game high 18 points. How do you feel about that?
Not really focused on that, to be honest. I think I was able to. The ball was kind of found my hands. I was able to make some shots. I think on any given night it could be anybody else on our team. So yeah, I think it was the team, it wasn't me.
And what do you think that you guys did well today as a team?
It's a great question. I think initially we didn't come out with the kind of intensity we needed, but we bounced back, man, and we played together. We ate together. We did all the things we wanted to do as a team. Kind of the rebound from our initial performance. So,
Coach, have a player like Sable? I think he's been with you all 3 of your years. Like,
yes.
What is your relationship with him like, and what do you expect from a player like him going into his junior year?
Yeah, big things. Unfortunately, tonight he got in foul trouble in the first half, so we weathered that storm. That's going to happen. And the other guys did a great job picking up for us and battling. Obviously for him to be here, we know each other so well, we could just rely on each other. He's not fazed by any moment. We've been through the fire together. He's helped, like Ezra said, bring these guys along who are new to the program as fast as we possibly can to get in a position today to where, we felt confident going into tonight's game. And that doesn't happen without Ryan Sable really leading and setting a tone day in and day out. And, again, a guy that made some really big plays in the second half. I don't know how many points he had in the first half. He might not have scored, I don't know, because he was out. But 8 points in the second half, made some big shots. And, if he plays the first half, maybe he's got 8 more. We got a guy with 18 and 16, and we shoot the ball better. We're just counting on him to be a leader. We know what he does. Like we talk about, doesn't matter who's getting the credit. We don't care about that. It's amazing what happens when you don't really care who gets the credit. And that's what this team's mantra is going to be all year. And he's the leader of that, because if you don't have a guy like him doing that every day, you really can't do it. But he's bought into that.
Anything, I know
Last question.
I'm sorry. Anything you hope to get better at before maybe even the season or conference schedule begins? Anything this team has to improve on to win some games?
Yeah, we got to clean up some things with guarding personnel defensively, which I think every team's going to this time of year. You're learning new guys. You don't really have clean tape on teams yet because you haven't seen them play as a team, with their new team. So we'll learn from that. Just shot selection. Thought we rushed some shots when we had guys open. But just the normal stuff, just the day-to-day, how do we do on the stuff we've worked on every day now that we've gone against somebody else? And we're just going to look at everything, evaluate it. But obviously we got to get on the foul line and rep that out more, which we will, and learn from this. But we shared the ball, and, we limited our turnovers in the second half. We turned the ball over, and that's really what was a big difference in the first half. Then we had 8 or 9 turnovers in the first half. We only had 2 or 3 in the second. And if we would have taken care of the ball in the first half, I think we're in a better situation going into halftime.
Thank you.
Nate.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.